Don't miss the tea. Subscribe now.
Oh, girl, pour the wine. You are not going to believe what just popped into my head. I was scrolling through Reddit. Don't look at me like that, I know I'm addicted. And I saw this post about a manager getting what he deserved, and it unlocked a core memory. I haven't thought about Greg in ages, but now my blood is boiling all over again. Get comfortable because this is tea. So, rewind the clock. I was young, fresh-faced, and pregnant with my first. I was working at a big grocery chain, and I was killing it. I was doing so well that they promoted me to front-end leader in record time. I was beaming. But then I told Greg I was pregnant. Girl, the switch up. It was immediate. Suddenly, I wasn't supervising anymore. I was demoted back to a register, and the people I used to supervise were supervising me. On top of that, he took a machete to my schedule, cutting me from 40 hours to less than 20. When I finally cornered him, he looked me dead in the eye and said, "You have to be more reasonable. It's easier to replace a cashier that calls out for being sick than replacing a team leader." My jaw hit the floor. He was demoting me preemptively because he assumed I'd be unreliable. I walked out shaking with rage, but by the time I got to my car, I was entering my villain era. What do you think I did next? First of all, I stopped caring about the schedule. I had the opening shift usually, 6:00 a.m. If I didn't show up, they were screwed, so I just stopped showing up. When I decided to grace them with my presence a day or two later, they'd be waiting with a write-up. Greg would say, "You have to call if you're not coming in." I'd look him in the face and say, "I don't have a phone. I don't make enough money to pay my bills since someone cut my hours." He'd turn purple and scream, "Go to a payphone." I'd touch my belly dramatically. "Greg, I am pregnant. I am in pain. You expect me to walk blocks to a payphone in the dark." And the best part, my car was parked right outside. He could see it. It was a standoff, and I was winning. I dared him to fire me. I knew the law. You couldn't fire a pregnant woman easily. I was begging for a lawsuit. When I did actually show up, I made sure I was absolutely useless. I'd be on the register for 20 minutes before turning on my light. "I'm dizzy. I need food." I'd waddle to the deli, order a sub, grab a newspaper, and sit in the cafe reading the obituaries while Greg hyperventilated at the registers. I think I did about 2 hours of work in a 4-hour shift. But the cherry on top, the absolute creme de la creme of this entire saga, it happened on a Tuesday. Want to know what went down? I was working the 6:00 a.m. shift. Around 6:30, I got this sharp, stabbing pain in my belly. Being a first-time mom, I was terrified. I called Greg over and said, "Greg, I'm not feeling good. I have a sharp pain. I need to go to the doctor." You know what this man said? He looked at the empty lanes and said, "You can't leave. There's no other cashier until 9:00 a.m. You have to wait." I was in pain, standing on my feet, pregnant, and he was holding me hostage because he didn't want to hop on a register. He wanted me to wait 2.5 hours. About 10 minutes later, I'm trying not to cry, and who walks in? A woman from corporate HR. She comes to my lane with her coffee. Now, corporate was always on our backs about service with a smile. She looks at me and goes, "Good morning. Oh, where's that smile? We need to be smiling for the customers." Honey, I saw red. But I stayed calm. I looked her dead in the eye, face like stone, and said, "Well, ma'am, I can't smile because I am pregnant and in severe pain. I told my manager over an hour ago, but he told me I am not allowed to leave to go to the hospital because there is no other cashier until 9:00 a.m. What happened next will shock you. The transformation on her face was instant. The smile dropped. She went from corporate cheerleader to angel of death in 0.5 seconds. She slammed her coffee on the counter and yelled at the office girl, "Page the manager. Now." When Greg came trotting up, thinking he was important, he walked right into a buzzsaw. She lit him up right there in front of God and everyone. She was screaming, "This is unacceptable. You do not keep a pregnant woman here against her will. If there is no cashier, you get on the register. Let her go now." Greg looked like a scolded puppy. She turned to me, voice soft, and said, "Go to the doctor right now." I dropped my drawer without counting it and walked out. It was the most satisfying moment of my life. For the rest of the pregnancy, I was a ghost. Because he cut my hours, I applied for partial unemployment, so Greg had to sign paperwork every week paying me to stay home. I made his life absolute hell. When I finally gave birth and quit, I didn't give notice. I just walked out. He thought it was easier to replace a cashier. Well, he spent 9 months trying to cover the shift of a cashier who refused to be replaced, refused to work, and refused to quit. Cheers to that, honey.